Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. I am back with another Dungeons & Dragons miniature from the Nolzur's Marvelous Miniature series, and this is an Aasimar Wizard and already pre-primed, so ready to be painted. We're starting off with one of the new skin tones paint from Army Painter, and this is Onyx skin tone. So it's a very dark skin, just like in the artwork. Now, I had a hard time finding everywhere on this miniature that was her skin because I found the details were a little rough on this one actually. There was no clear-cut areas of what finished where, and it was a little hard to determine that. Hey, and if you liked this video, hit that like button, and if you're new to the channel, welcome, and hit that subscribe button. Alright, now we're going to be using a unique color from the Zombicide Invader paint set, and this is called Pale Skin. It's a little off-white, has a little bit of hint of gray to it, but we're going to be putting this on her hood, and we're also going to be putting this on, like, I don't know, you want to call this the dressing in front, and a couple parts of her, like, shirt and so on. Again, like I said, this miniature's details were very hard to figure out what went where, but I did my best with what I could see. Alright, now we're going to be doing her cape with some cultist robe. This has a dark greenish brown gray look to it. However, it's very shiny. I never noticed how glossy this was when I started using this paint. And it doesn't cover very well either, so I had to shake this up a couple times and off camera do a second coating. And later on with the shader, it does cover up a bit of that glossiness. Alright, now we're going to be using Wizard's Orbs, and this is like a light green aqua color, and we're going to be doing this on some more of her robes and so on, just because I wanted a few different colors to pop out a little bit more in this miniature, so when she's on the table for D&D, you can tell that she's ready for a battle. Now to do some of her belts and a couple more parts of her robes, we're going to be using some vampire garments. This is a little bit redder than your typical red color, but it's got a nice tone to it as well. Goes on pretty well. Had to do a couple little coats on it here and there. You got to shake these up really well. And this is a unique color from the D&D's paint set from the Army Painter. So if you didn't have a chance to look at that, those are really good paints to have in your set. Now we're moving on to some leather brown. This is going to be for the scrolls as well as some of her belts and some of the parts around the staff that she's holding as well. And then as I keep painting this, I keep thinking she's looking more and more like Ezio from Assassin's Creed. Just with the red and the white in the leather brown, it just comes out popping a little bit more like that to me. Hey, don't forget, if you enjoy videos like this, hit that notification bell and you'll find out when other videos come out. Also leave your comments down below of what you're painting right now or what you think of my techniques. Now we're just going to use some black for her hair, and you know what, surprisingly enough the black actually shows a little bit more than her skin color because it is very much darker than that onyx skin, so it's not so bad, but she doesn't have much hair protruding, just a few little strands from underneath that hood, and you're all good to go. Next we're going to be moving on to some greedy gold, which is a metallics color, and this is for some of the little ornaments that she has on her body as well as the trim around her hood. Alright, now we're going to use a little Azure Magic, which is another metallic color from the Army Painter, and this is just going to be for that orb inside her wand. Now, I never know how to highlight white, because it's white, so you can't go any whiter. So I always use this Apothecary White very, very thinly on white, just to give it a little bit more depth and a little bit more, oomph to it. Now we're moving on to actually painting the staff, and this is going to be with some rough iron. So you just got to be careful here because there's a lot of little areas around the clear plastic that's going to be the flame later on. So just make sure you don't hit that with your paint. But I mean, you can wash it off, and even later on when you start making the flames, you can kind of hide it behind, but it also gives it an effect of there is something behind that clear plastic. Alright, so you're going to be using some Castle Gray on the base. So this is including the black base. I didn't actually put any kind of like texture paint or anything on the base. And this is going to be for all the area of the pre-made base that came with the miniature. Alright, so I want to see how this game ink works on clear plastic, and frankly it came out really nice. So this is yellow from Vallejo. It is very liquidy, very, you know, it's just like a wash, it's just like a contrast paint, but this is an ink and it covers up the plastic really nicely, but not enough to dull it or to make it not see-through anymore. Next thing we're going to be using some fairy dust, which is an effects paint from the Army Painter, on her wings. I didn't want to paint the wings in any color, I just wanted them to shine and glitter. Now for all the green parts, we're going to use the military shader, and that includes that cultist robe paint we used a while ago, and it didn't really dull down the shininess of it, but I mean, her cape is nice to look at, so if it's a little shiny, not the end of the world, right? Now we're going to use a little mid-brown on pretty much the brown sections of the miniature. And we're going to finish off the entirety of the miniature with some nuln oil on the base and on the red parts, on the strappings, anything that we haven't gotten yet with any kind of contrast or any other paint or wash either. Now I didn't use a skin tone wash, I just went with the nuln oil over the face. So just finishing up with that nuln oil, we're going to finish off this Aasimar Wizard and get it ready for the table and use it in my D&D campaign. I hope you enjoyed the videos, guys. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button, and we'll catch you all in the next one.